human resource planning aspects. Now, in this continuation, I'm going to talk to you about the process of the human resource planning. So, in this particular things which I'm going to talk to you about is the key concepts and skills. That means the impact of business human resource, then long term and to be considered in human resource planning. That means what are the short term and what are the long term planning which have to be uh, made in the organization to sustain that to be considered in human resource supply forecasting. This is one important point which we are going to touch in this particular session, which there are different factors which has to be considered when we are talking about the supply of the human resource. That means the forecasting part. Then we are going to talk about forecasting human resource requirements based on production schedules. That means whatever actions are taking place in the organization, we are going to forecast the human resources that in future how many human resources we require. Then human resource needed to match human resource demand. That is another point which we have to take into consideration in this session, where we are going to talk about the demand and supply requirement in the organizations. The basic is the impact of business planning on human resource planning, determining the human resource requirement, that what are the basic requirements. Then resources demand forecasting, that what are the forecasting we have to do regarding the resources are concerned as per the demand and supply. And the second is related with the supply also. Then what are the actions we have to take when we are talking about the human resources? Then there are some different type of techniques which we are going to talk about it. Number one is bottom up approach, rule of thumb approach, zero based forecasting, Delphi technique, time series or trend analysis, and other forecasting methods. So these are the things which we are going to discuss in this particular session. So initially, I just want to tell you that what exactly the human resource planning is. It is the process of systematically reviewing human resource requirements so that organization will be able to obtain the required number of employees with the required skills available at the time when needed. So if you see the whole concept of human resource planning, it is basically a systematic process reviewing the human resource requirements so that organization will be able to obtain the required number of employee whenever it is required, and at which time it is required. It has to be taken care in the human resource planning. Then impact of business planning on human resource planning. As you know that when we are talking about the business planning, that means that we are talking about the sales and marketing, and we are talking about the production side, etc. So how they are relating with the human resource planning, and what are the basic impacts of human resource planning on business planning. So number one is the effective human resource planning can only be done after strategic planning. So they are saying that when we are talking about the strategic planning, it is usually said that we have to see the human resource planning. And this can only be done when we are talking about the strategic planning. What are the strategic planning? It is the organization's process of defining if strategies or future direction and making decisions on allocating it resources to pursue this strategy. That means that they are talking about the strategic planning, which says that it is a process of defining its strategy or future directions. That means whatever the strategies we have to form, we are totally depending upon the strategic planning. Then the future direction, in which particular direction we are moving, and making the decisions on allocating its resources to pursue the strategies. That means that resources are the most important part when we are talking about the strategies are concerned. Because when we talk about the strategies, we have to keep this thing in mind that we have to talk about the resources also, that how we are going to allocate the resources in different areas. Then there are long range strategic planning which ranges from 2 to 5 years, and it flows into the middle range operational planning, which is 1 or 2 year. That means that we have to talk about two type of planning. What is one is long range and one is short middle range planning. From these plans, annual budgets are derived and budgeting decisions are developed. That means they are saying when we are talking about the strategic planning related with the human resources, and on the basis of that we are allocating the resources and making the long term and the middle range planning. Long term planning is ranging from 2 to 5 years and the short term is ranging from 1 to 2 years. And on the basis of this we are making the annual plans, we are making the annual budget, that how much money we have to spend in that, and we have to take the budgeting decision which can be developed with the help of the human resource planning. Then we are going to talk about the impact of business resource planning, as we were discussing about it, that how we are going to differentiate between that. So if we talk about the business planning process, number one is the strategic planning, which is long-term planning. It contains few things. Number one is the corporate philosophy. That means what is the philosophy of the organization. Then second is the environmental scanning. We have to scan the whole environment while we are making the strategic planning. That means environmental scanning means internal as well as external environment. Then we have to see the strength and weaknesses of the organization and the objectives and strategies. That means that when we are talking about the strategic planning, that is the long-term process, talk about the strength and weaknesses. And apart from this strength and weaknesses, we have to talk about the objectives and strategies. That what are the basic strategies and what are the objective of the organization. When we talk about the human resource planning, it is related with the issue analysis. What exactly business needs? What are the external factors? What are internal supply analysis and implications for management? So if somebody asks you that what are the impact of human resource planning on business planning, or impact of business planning on human resource planning, we can say under the human resource planning it is the issue analysis, which can be identified about the need of that what exactly the business require. What are the external factors? External factors are various. We have to take into consideration the external factors while making human resource planning process. Then we have to talk about the internal supply analysis. That means that we have to see the organization, how many resources are available. So whenever we require any resources, are we in a position resources from the organization itself, or we are looking for other people from outside? It's done in the forecasting manner, and in this forecasting manner we have to understand that how we are going to identify the required amount of human resources within the department. So we have to communicate with the departments time and again and find out what are the people who are going to be in a situation where they can be promoted, or maybe there are some people who are going to be transferred from one place to another place, or maybe there are people who are leaving the organization. So if the gap is there, we have to find out that who are the people for that. That is for management. It is important to understand whenever we are making a planning process, we have to see that what are some gaps. It is going to cause a lot to the organization. Why? Because of only one reason. If we are not having a proper human resources while we are working on a project, it will create a lot of problem. So it is saying that whenever we are talking implications for management, that has to be taken into consideration with the help of the business planning process, which I have already described to you. I can describe to you again also that there are two type of things which we are going to talk regarding the business planning process and the human resource planning process. One is the strategic planning and second is the issue analysis. So strategic planning is related with the corporate philosophy, environmental strength and weaknesses, and the objective and strategies of the organization. Then second is the business needs, which includes the external factors, internal supply analysis, and the implications for the management. So apart from that, if we talk about them, we have to find out that what are the things which we have to take into consideration when we are talking about the operational planning, that is the mid-term planning. So when we are talking about operational planning, it is related with the plan program, that what are the programs we are planning for the organization related with the human resources, then the resource required, what are the different resources we required when we want to acquire some human resources, that is either internal or the external one. Then we have to see the organizational strategies, that what are the strategies we are making within the organization when we are talking about the operational aspects of the business planning process. Then we have to make the plans, that mean acquisition, divestitures, and net requirements. That means that we have to find out that from where we can acquire the human resources, where we have to diversify that, and what are the net requirement of human resources in the organization. Then if we talk about the forecasting part, in the forecasting part, we have to find out that what are the staffing, what are the staffing mix, then organization and job design, available and project process, because these are the things which we have to take into consideration when we are talking about the forecasting of this. Staffing level means that we have to find out that when we are making the forecasting, we have to see at which particular level we have to require the staff. Then we have to talk about the staffing mix, that from one department we have to take a person in another department, from another department we have to take in another department. Then organization and job designing, we have to identify the job design as well as the organizational infrastructure, so that on the basis of the organizational structure we can make the job designing. Then available and projected resources, when we are talking about forecasting, we have to see that what are the available resources are there, and what are the projected resources, that means the expected resources which we require in future period. Then next point comes the determining the human resource requirement. What are basically resource requirement? So we talk about the resources demand forecasting. If we talk about the long factors, what are the things which require the organization's long-term business plan? That means the business is ranging from 2 to 5 years. Then demographic situation, that in which particular demographic situation we have to operate. That means that in which particular areas we are operating and how many human resources we require on a long-term basis. Then the economy, we need to see the economic condition of the organization also, because on the basis of that only, we are finding out resources inside the organization and outside. Then the technological trends, that means that if there are technological advancement within the organization, or some technological things are coming from outside, we have to see that how many resources required and which type of technical skills and knowledgeable people we require for the particular thing, and what is the social trend. This is another one. Social trend, what are the things we have to take into consideration when we are looking for the employees. So this is also important regarding the long-term factors which we have to look into consideration. And what about the short-term factors? As I have told you about the long-term factors, now we are going to talk about the short-term factors. This means production schedules and budget. As you know, in the organization, it is very, very important to see the production schedules. On the basis of the production schedule, you have to talk about the budget also, that what are the budget for the particular production schedule, and we have to identify those things, because these are short factors. It is ranging from 1 to 2 years. So we have to make a plan in such a manner that we have to see the production schedule, and on the basis of that we can identify that how many people we require in that. Then the retrenchment or relocation of the facilities. Sometimes it happens that we have to move one person from another place, or maybe we are relocating the person from one place to another place. So this also has to be taken into consideration when we are talking about the short-term factors, when we talk about the demand forecasting. Then what are the supply forecasting? That means when we are talking about the supply forecasting, we have to find out few things. Number one is the current inventory. We have to identify that how many people are available in the organization and what are the areas in which they are working. Then second is the productivity level. In this, we have to see that what are the different areas where the production is going on and how the productivity is going to increase. So in the organization, as you must be aware about it, there are a lot of departments, and for each department it is necessary to see that how the productivity level can be increased with the help of the human sources. Then what are the turnover rates? That means that we have to see this thing, that how many people are moving out from the organization or coming inside the organization, because this is also very important when we are talking about the supply forecasting. Because if we are giving a proper, forecast regarding the turnover is concerned, we can easily identify and make a plan that how many people we require in future. Then absenteeism. There are a lot of organizations who are, there are people who are mostly absentees from the job. In that situation also, we have to see that who are the substitute for those absentees. So it is also important to find out that how many people are going to be replaced when the people are absenting from the particular thing. Then the movement among the jobs. This says that whenever we are moving the people from one place to another place, maybe from one department to another department, maybe one unit to another unit, or maybe the people are relocating themselves, or maybe the people are promoting, going somewhere else. So in addition also, we have to see that how we are going to make the forecasting regarding the supply is concerned. Because we have to see that how many people we can find out within the organization and how many people we have to take from outside the organization. For that we have to make the, then what are the basic actions we have to take when we are talking about the planning of human resources? Number one is hiring, that we have to hire the people on the basis of the requirement in the organizations at different levels. And then we have to train those people, because when the people are fresh, it is very very important to train them on a particular job on which they have been hired from the for the organization. So training is also a requirement. Then career management is there. That means that we have to tell these people after the training, during the training, that what are the careers you can make in the organization. Because this is also one of the areas where you can identify the people who can become asset for the organization. Then productivity program. This is another program which we have to take into consideration, and it is the role of human resource department to do all this work. As I am talking to you about the productivity program, these are the programs where we have to find out that which programs we are going to launch among the employees who are existing in the organization, so that they will become motivated, and on the basis of motivation they can work hard, so that the productivity of the organization increases. And when the productivity of the organization increases, it's obvious that the profitability is also going to be increased. And when the productivity and the profitability is going to increase, it will be shared among employees. It is the usual trend which usually seen in the organization. Then reduction in workforce, because these are the actions we have to take when we find that there are a lot of turnover and the number of people are reduced in the organization. At that situation, we have to identify and find out what are the reasons and how we can cope up with these reduction policies, so that the employee can be retained in the organization and they will continue working in the organization. So these are the actions we have to take when we find out that there are some reduction in workforce is going on. Then forecasting the workforce requirement. What are the basic requirements when we forecast about it? Number one is to determine what department is scheduled to produce for period. That means that we have to identify, as I have told you earlier also, that we have to talk about the production schedule also. So we have to find out that what are the department schedule related with the production and the duration and how many people we require there. Then calculation that how much schedule means in terms of total man hours. That means that how many people are there and whatever the number of people are there and how they are going to continue with the organization, and we can make the things much more better for the organization so that the people will be there and they will work on the production units. Then we have to convert totals to man hour and divide it by 8 to see how many man days it will take to complete the schedule. In the third step of this forecasting related with the production is concerned, we have to convert the total of man hour, that how many people are there and how many time they are working. And we have to divide those with the 8 hours so that we can come to the conclusion that how many man days we require and what are the schedule which is going to be completed with these particular people. Then we have to divide total man days by number of working days during period to find number of employees needed. In the human resource department, when we are making the human resource planning, we have to see that how we are going to find out that how many employees we needed in the organization and at which time we require the people. In that situation, what we have to do is that we have to see the total man days by numbers and we have to divide this with the working days so that we can find the employees needed in the organization. Then we have to check how many indirect persons are needed to service required number of employees during this period. This is the role of the human resource planning process, that they have to find out that how many indirect people are required. That means people who are on contract basis. So we have to find out that who are permanent people and who are on the contract basis. On the basis so that we have to identify the number of people in our forecasting planning. Then we have to add number of direct labor to number of indirect person to get total needed. That means that we have to add the number of direct labor to the number of indirect people and get the total number of people needed for the work to be performed in the organization. That means whatever the number of direct people are working in the organization and whatever the number of people we require indirectly, that means on the contract basis, we have to add both the things and we have to find out after that addition that how many people will for the organization to complete the job. Then we have the make the allowances for the absence. That means that we have to find out that people who are not there, how we are going to make the allowances for those people also. Then there is one approach which is known bottom up approach. These are the human resource forecasting techniques. Number one is bottom up approach. This says using the supervisor and manager estimates of manpower requirement. In this bottom up approach, human resource department has to ask the supervisor and the managers that how many people they require for the job. Then second is based on the reason that people at the bottom where the action is are most knowledgeable about employment requirement. That means that on the basis of the people at the bottom where action is required, and we have to find out that how many knowledgeable people are required for the particular employment. A good method, especially in making short-term forecasting. They are saying that bottom-up approach is good in the short-term forecasting. So whenever there is a short-term forecasting in the organization, there are always bottom-up approach which has to be taken into consideration. Then each success level, starting with the lowest forecast, its requirements, ultimately providing a total forecast of the ROI needed. That means it is said that on each and every successive level, level means level A, level B, level C, level D. So starting with the lowest forecasting and requirement, we will find out that how many people we require for a job to be completed in the organization. Then rule of thumb approach. Rule of thumb set up for certain environmental conditions that are used for forecasting human resource requirement. This is the environmental condition which has to be taken into consideration when we are asking for the human resource requirement. Here we can give an example that a departmental store may choose to hire a sales assistant for each 100 square of floor space. This usually happens in big stores where they hire the people on the basis of square meter within the organization. So rule of thumb technique is useful, but main disadvantage of this technique is it is designed to maintain the status quo. So in this situation, they are saying that it is very important to see that how you are going to find out that how the things are not going to be beneficial when we are talking about the rule of thumb approach. Then next is the zero-based forecasting. What is this? It is based on techniques of zero-based budgeting. That means that on the basis of the zero-based budgeting, we are making this technique. It does not use the organizational current level of staffing as a starting point for determining future staff requirement. That means in zero-based forecasting, we are not taking the current staff available in the organization. We are starting from zero. Each annual budget must be rejustified and managers will need to defend with supporting evidence why they need so many people in their department. So in this zero-based forecasting, it is the role of the manager to find out that how many people they require, and on the annual budget, these things are going to be incorporated, and on the basis of that, you find out that how many people you require and why you require these people in your department. Then they are saying when a position become vacant, vacancy not filled automatically. Yes, in this zero-based forecasting, this is also seen that when the vacancy is there, it cannot be filled immediately. It takes little time. Then instead, manager will have to justify why the position needs to be filled. In this situation, it is the role of the manager because the human resource manager is going to the manager of a particular department that why you need this person, and the manager has to justify this thing to the human resource department people while doing the human resource planning. Any new position must also be justified accordingly. Said that in zero-based forecasting, any new position are also going to be justified. Then through zero-based forecasting, organization ensures no overstaffing take place. On the basis of this zero-based forecasting, it is usually said that no overlapping of the staff is going to take when there is a zero-based forecast. Then the Delphi technique. This is very important technique and it is used most of the organization. These are the structured approach for reaching consensus judgment. That means it is a structured way how you are taking a decision with the help of other people also. Experts chosen on basis of knowledge of internal general business plans or external factors that might affect the demand. In this technique, they are saying that there are experts chosen on basis of the knowledge of internal factors, then the general business plans, or the external factors that might affect demand, because that is also important important. We have to select experts on different areas, and after discussing the things with them, we have to find out the demand. Objective is to predict future development in particular by integrated independent opinions of expert. As I have told you just now that the big objective of this Delphi technique is that we are to take specific information or specific opinion of experts from areas to integrate the demand for the future development. Then face-to-face group discussion among experts avoided. It is usually said that in Delphi technique, it is very, very essential that you have to avoid the face-to-face discussion. Intermediary is used. Sometimes it happens that a mediator is usually used in this type of discussions, because if there is a face-to-face discussion, maybe the things will not come up in a proper manner. On the basis of that, it is important that some third party is going to be involved into that. That the third party's job to pool some feedback to experts during the first round of forecasting. The third parties work, pool the things, discuss the things, analyze the things, and feedback during the first round of discussion. Then this cycle, which is repeated again, so that expert give opportunity to revise their forecast and reasons behind their opinion within 2 to 5 rounds. In this, there are different rounds which takes place, and experts are giving some options to change their views about the forecasting which they have made or the opinion about the forecasting they made, and it will go up to 4 to 5 rounds. So this is the technique is usually used in all the good organizations. On the basis of that, they are selecting the human resources and they are forecasting about the people. Then time or trend series. This is another way of technique in the human resource forecasting. It is a quantitative method that make use trend extrapolation by using past trends to make projection into the future. Time series or trend analysis means that it is a quantitative method. In this method, to see that in the past what happened and what is the projection for the future. Then we have to find out the appropriate factors. That means critical first step is to select a business factor to which workforce size can be related. That means what business we are doing it and how many workforce is required for that. This is one point. Then this factor must satisfy two requirements. Number one is it should relate to essential nature of business. That means it is directly related with the essential nature of the business. They are the nature of the business, and on the basis of that to make the forecasting. Then changes in selected factors must be proportional to number of employees requirement. In this, we have to see different selected factors which may change the trend in the organization, and it should be proportionate number of employees required in the organization. Then time series or trend analysis 2 point is the plot historical relationship between business factor and workforce size. That means what are the businesses and how many people are there in the organization. We have to do the quantitative relationship between the passing level and past level of business factor. That means what business we were doing in the past, how many people are working in the past. On the basis that we are to develop a quantitative techniques that how many people we may require in the future. Then productivity is the third point, which says that the rate of output per individual worker. That means in some cases you see that what is the output of the work done by a person. On the basis of also this we can forecast the resources. Then to forecast staffing requirements accurately, necessary to know rate at which labor productivity and business factor are changed. Here it is that to find out the forecasting staff requirement, it is very, very important to find out that what are the changing pattern of business as well as the productivity, that how much your business is growing and what are the activity. On the basis of that, you can make the forecasting techniques, and you have to identify that okay, these are the people we require in future. Then next is determining the trend in labor productivity and adjustment to the trend. To determine the average annual rate of productivity change during past to 10 years, data must be collected. That means that whatever the changes are taking place related with the productivity of the organization since last past to 5 years to 10 years, the data must be collected. On the basis of the data, we have to identify that what are the forecasting we are supposed to do in that particular area. Then we can calculate the average annual productivity changes, and along with projected changes in business use as forecast changes will be forthcoming. That means that another part which they are talking about is that how to calculate the average annual productivity changes, that what are the changes taking place annually and what are the projected changes business are going through. On the basis of that, we can forecast what are the changes which are going to come in near future. Then evaluate the causes of any past changes and deviating from annual changes in productivity. Then we have to identify, this is another point which we have to identify the past changes, that what are the causes and how that why the changes takes place. And we have to see the deviation which takes place on the changes in the productivity. So if we compare both the things together, that the past change causes as well as the deviation of annual changes in productivity, that is also one reason when we are going for the trend analysis. Then projecting the future staffing need to the target. We have to project of a staff need to target here is straightforward. That means that we have to take the projection which says that okay, in this we are going to take this much of people. Then actual and projected level of the business factor and actual and projected labor productivity obtained. We have to take the actual and projected level of business within a year, and we have to take the actual and projected labor productivity. On the basis of that, we have to compare both the things and then we forecast the thing. Then forecast of net HR is determined simply by subtracting the supply forecast from the demand forecasting. This is the easiest way to find out that how we are going to forecast, that when we are subtracting the supply forecasting from demand forecasting. And in the what are the other forecasting method? There are some and planning analysis. As I have told you that when we are forecasting the thing, we have to make the annual budget, that how many people we required for the job, and then we have to make the planning analysis. On the basis of that, we can identify that how many people required in future. Then there are 6 steps which we are using in the strategic planning process. Number one is determining the strategic intent. What are the things which require to make the strategy? Then second is defining the organizational message, that means purpose and the values. That what are the purpose of the organization and what are the values of the organization while making the strategic plan. Then assessing the situational analysis environment. That means we have to assess the environmental analysis basis of situation. Number one is competition. That means what level of competitions are there. Then the economic condition and the market conditions. Then we have to talk about the another point which is related with developing the strategies goals. That what are the strategic goals and objectives. That means the cost leadership, differentiation, niche strategy. That which type of a strategy we are requiring and how we are going to work on these type of strategies, then implement the plan strategy implementation, that what are the basic strategies we are putting up, what are the structure we are looking for, what are the basic systems, and what are the skills we require. Then we have to share the value and the staffing. This is coming in the form of the strategic evaluation, monitoring, and on the basis of that, we have to identify that how we are going to find out the things in a compatible. So these are the things which we have to talk about it, and on the basis of that, we are going to find out that how the things are going to be implemented in different strategic human resource techniques, and how we are going to find out that the things are going to be better in the human resource strategy planning. Now, on the basis of that, I have just given some sort of you can say that I have given some sort of to give the answers for that. How we can do that? We have to find out that which type of questions we have given here, and on the basis of that, we have to identify that how the things can be moved in a proper direction. So we have to find out these things, and on the basis of that, we have to identify that things can be moved in a proper manner. Because when we are talking about the developing strategies, and when we are talking about the other objectives, the things are going to be in a different manner, and it can be a problem for the organization to find out that uh, how we are going to find out the things which we have to take into consideration. So we have to identify this thing. So I'm just going to give you some questions also. The questions are there, and I think you are in a position to find out in a few of time that what are the questions which I have given, the different strategies are concerned. How we are going to find out this thing. So I have to find out this, and on the basis of that, I have to see that how we are going to make different implement plans, and on the basis of that, we have to find out the things how we are going to do it. And these MCQs, and you can easily find out that what are these MCQs, and on the basis of this you can give the answer for each and every questions. So if you see the MCQs, these are related with the session which I have taken, and it will be easier for you to give the answer for that. That making decisions on the basis of experience, feelings, and accumulated judgment. It is known as what? Decision making is structure problem, intuitive decision making, none of the above. Then which of this is not mentioned in the decision making matrix? Analytic behavior, directive, or performance management. Then they are saying that which software provides key performance indicators to help manager monitor efficiency of projects and employees, like management information system, business performance management, enterprise application software, and online analytical problem. So these are the things which we have to take into consideration. And I think whatever I have discussed with you, you are in a position to give the answer for these questions. And apart from that, there are some more questions that dash is a rule of thumb that managers use to simplify decision making. Sunk cost, framing, heuristic, or none of the above. Then planning provides direction is a importance of planning, limitation, characteristics, and the methods. Then dash guides for decision making, rule, policy, procedures, or the methods. Then there is another question which I have just given to you, that the subordinates are given complete freedom in taking decision is a part of rule, strategy, policy, or procedures. So these are few questions which I have just framed for you, so that it will be easier for you to understand the whole uh, topic in detail about it. So if you go through this, I think it will be easier for you to remember the whole discussion which we have done just now. And I'm quite sure that you are in a position to understand each and everything perfectly. And this is all from my side. Thank you very much.